That's what the last 30 minutes was for.
Right. All right. What's good, squad? Welcome back to another. I done messed up the beginning.
Did you?
Yeah. Wow, I can't read. What's good, squad?
Why are you still reading? Stop reading. Just look. What did Obi-Wan tell Luke? Just feel the force. You know what I'm saying? Take the visors off. Don't even read it. Just go in. All right. Close your eyes, bro. Don't even read it. Just do your thing. Come on.
What's good, squad? It's Frosty Phoenix here. Welcome to another edition of Phucapod. Be sure to check us out all across our social media at Phucaname, Phucaname. Be sure to check us out wherever our podcast is available. If you like the content, however you were listening to us, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and leave a comment for any content you want to hear us cover in the future, or however we can improve our content if need be. I'm here with the usual squad specs. Squad specs, introduce your names, where people can find you if you want to be found.
Yo, squad, what's good? What's good? It's the boy Wavey God, of course, a sneaker lover, anime watcher, video game player. Right here on Phucapod, we got another fire episode for y'all today. You know what I'm saying? Like Frosty said, rate us at 5 stars and follow, subscribe on Spotify, and be sure to vote in the polls we're gonna have in the Spotify episode 2 and down below. So y'all be sure to vote for those, and we might look at answer those when we get to the next episode. So stay tuned and enjoy the episode, y'all.
Peace. What's good, y'all? You already know who it is. This is Cornered Fox, aka One Speed Wanda, aka Leroy Justice, aka Siniska, aka did you see how Namor fucked Wakanda up, bruh, in that movie, dog? Like, that's, come on, son. I still think about that joint every day.
Dreams of that shit.
I still do, man. They some good dreams too. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I love me some Wakanda. Look, shout out to T'Challa, shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? But look, they asked for the hands and they got the hands. So, anyways, look, y'all. All jokes aside, a corner fox is more dangerous than a jackal. Shout out to Hideo Kojima. Y'all can catch me at Phucaname, Phucaname. You can also catch me at at Sonny Burns on Instagram. Excuse me. You can follow me if you want to, but shit, I don't be on there. That's the reality. So
that's reality.
Catch me at Phucaname. You know, it is what it is. And we always got a good one for y'all. We got some good knowledge for you. And like everybody said, 5 stars. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, vote, do everything you got to do to engage with us.
There's too many people, too many profiles out nowadays. I got 5. Be like, you got 5. You know, I got 10. Be like, yo, I got 1, and I'll check it.
Bruh, for real. Oh yeah, aka Leroy Justice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's 5. I think it's 5. That's 5 for you.
I know.
I had to round that out to the, even 5 stars. Absolutely.
I think One Speed Wanda is my favorite one. I might like low key just change my shit to that. That shit is fire.
One Speed Wanda. That's hard. I'm not going
because look, I'm gonna get a history to it real quick. Like, if I could just steal it. So look, I'm a big fan of all types of movies and shit, but I always love saying, like, I got 1 speed. People be like, oh, you go easy on people playing video games? Nah, bro, it's 1 speed. Like, and because in the Chronicles of Riddick movie, shout out to Pitch Black, shout out to Chronicles of Riddick, shout out to all his movies, right? Shout out to everything. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, Butcher Bay, games, like, shout out to everything. You know what I'm saying? But in the movie, when they escape from crematoria, he was like, look, it's gonna be 1 speed, mine. he was like, if you can't keep up, don't step up, you'll just die. And I was like, And then I seen Multiverse of Madness, and I seen Wanda folding everything like it was cheap laundry. So I was like, okay, look, it's 1 speed, and it's hers. It's hers, and that's the speed I'm trying to go at. So 1 speed Wanda, she was like, look, this is me being merciful. The fuck? She was like, excuse me.
That was me being reasonable. Like,
oh yeah, she was like, yeah, this is me being reasonable. I was like, oh my god, duh. It was so hard body, bro. And then she proceeded to go and slay everybody. Like, she was a terror. She was Thanos level at that point, for real. Like, she was beyond that. Like, you talking about, Thanos was like, oh, I'm gonna kill half the galaxy. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna wreck this universe, that universe, that universe. Like, I'm gonna just hop through and make it happen. Professor
Run
X,
me my kids.
Professor X who? Black Bolt who? Black Thar Boltagon who? What? No, sorry.
You know what? I'm proud of you right now for taking that approach with that, because I know any other time we mention Black Bolt, you kind of go on another tangent to kind of be like, that shouldn't have happened like that.
It shouldn't have happened like that. I'm cool with her winning. It was just the fashion in which she
I feel that.
Exactly.
Like Black Bolt don't go out like that. You don't. Come on now. You telling me? Okay, I ain't gonna do this again. But I'm just saying. You telling me a man who trained himself since birth. I mean, he was trained himself since birth to not make a sound, whether he is conscious, unconscious, anything. He doesn't sneeze. He doesn't cough. When he's asleep, he doesn't make a sound. He doesn't panic. He doesn't freak out when he has anxiety or sick. He don't make no fucking noise that's not conscious. But then this motherfucker panics and blows his brains out. Get the fuck out of here. That was stupid, bro. She could have beat him any other way.
Facts.
But that way, no. Nah, bruh. Hell no. So, you know. Because, look, I just hoped. I thought Professor X was just going to sick him. Like, yo, handle my lightweight. And he was going to be like, all right. You know what I'm saying?
like he did Strange. He was like, I'm sorry.
Right, and that shit. I was like,
bull out. Like,
because I wasn't sure if they was going to do it right and show like his power. I was like, okay, I could fuck with this. Now let me see what else he does. And then he blows his brains out. I was like, son.
Reverberates off of his closed mouth into the back of his brain. You know,
I was like,
that's
really?
crazy. That's crazy.
Really?
No, I feel that. I like what you said though, and he folded him like laundry, because that remind me of a Mick Jenkins bar they had on his last album. Shout out to Mick Jenkins. That album was crazy.
Shout out to
it should have just been called "I Got Bars," nigga. That's what it should have been called.
Oh my, it really should have, and it would have been factual. It would have been the truth. That shit was ridiculous.
Yeah. If y'all haven't heard that, anyone listening to it, Frosty, whoever listening to it, if y'all haven't heard it, check out Mick Jenkins' last album.
You like rap? You gonna like Mick Jenkins?
Right. That's all we got. That's all we got to say, man.
Golly, that shit was fire. He was like, wasn't this his first like indie thing, like without a label?
I think it was his first indie.
Yeah, he was like, fuck a hook, fuck all this shit.
He's going wild. Like,
bars, and bars. Like that's all it was. I was like, all right,
yeah.
Mick Jenkins, you said?
Mick Jenkins, yeah.
Maybe a Chicago rapper.
He even had Benny. He had Benny on that shit. He had Jit on that shit. He had Freddie Gibbs on that shit, and he was like, he went toe to toe with them. He didn't really lose in the verses and stuff. He didn't lose at all. Like he was going wild.
Lose. Nah. He ain't lose at all.
He had Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa had a good verse on there too. So
yeah.
What was the album called? The Patience.
Yep, The Patience.
All right.
Yeah. But I mean, if you haven't listened to any of his stuff, go and listen to Trees and Truths, The Waters, like listen to all that.
Because we talked about this before, where like I was late on the Kendrick game, and then once I got onto the train, I like went back to the back cars. Like I think I got on after To Pimp a Butterfly. I got on a Damn, and I was like, wait, and then proceeded to To Pimp a Butterfly, proceeded to Good Kid, Mad City. Like I went all the way back through the discology. Like when you really like somebody and their later piece of work, and you go back and you find out they have more fire discology in the back, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, you like that? Open the disc store, you know, you go to the store, like, oh, I like this fire. Oh, you think this is fire?
Right, like, actually,
follow me. You know,
that's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, good recommendation for and we probably should start doing that more often.
We used to do it. We used to do it on our lunch breaks. We used to talk about that shit. Yeah. We used to be going in for a minute about the new albums and stuff.
Hit us up if you like that stuff, or our lives and all that kind of stuff, or recommendations, because we got that stuff too, and we'll figure out how to get that more out to you guys in lunch bite fashion.
Yeah, man. So vote for that in the polls. That's probably gonna be a question in the polls. So y'all vote for that. You know what I'm saying? We might bring it back. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nas too and Hit Boy.
Bruh, shout out.
This is the last album in their run, a 6-album run in 3 years. This is the last album.
A duo album.
Well, Hit Boy produced the whole thing.
He produced the whole thing.
I get it.
He's been setting Nas like real good.
Yeah.
He's taking care of the
Nas, big homie Nas, you know. So shout out to Queens.
Shout out to Nas.
I think isn't there like a project with like Method Man coming out with like
Is there?
Probably.
It's like someone
Meth Lab?
Someone's producing someone's album. I saw that news, and I cannot remember off the top, man. It was like somebody producing an older, legendary rapper is produced by another legendary producer, and it was like y'all duoing for an album. Corner's looking it up right now, and I don't remember.
I was just saying the Meth Lab,
Meth Lab
like
is good
series
too. Meth Lab
has been fire.
Too.
Like his last one was last year, I think. But that it was like 3 of them. Like them joints is fire. Method Man didn't really slow down. Like he's just been on his money shit.
He's gotten better over time.
Yeah, his shit is still fire. And he did the Luke Cage track. Remember from the show? Like that shit was fire.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulletproof Love shit. That shit was hot. So, but and shout out to Lil Wayne. You know, like Weezy to
Katra Mine. I think that's what they call their duo now. It's Katranada and Amine. Like they paired up.
Amine?
Okay,
Amine.
Yeah, like
heard of
fire
him.
Duo.
Yeah, I like some of his stuff.
I can't remember the news, and like if you guys remember, if you guys are listening, look it up. Like the news passed me. I forget who's coming out to produce a legendary producer's coming out to produce a legendary rapper's album that's supposed to be a collab coming out. So,
I'm beyond that after this. I'm beyond it.
We'll probably look it up and probably post it on Fu or something like that. That's where I'll send it to you guys when I see it again, I promise.
All right.
But let's get into the news bites before we get into the main topic of the podcast today. So, the gaming industry is definitely not seeing... It's seeing its best days and then it's seeing its worst days right now.
Yeah.
Like, people are trying us as gamers in our pockets. Like,
they definitely are. You know what I'm saying? I know... recently, they had the State of Play and Nintendo Direct. Both came out on September 14th. It's not a lot to cover. I mean, the main thing about State of Play, Frosty put it up on Instagram and TikTok on Friday, September 15th. So y'all go check that out. But the main part is that Spider-Man 2 is going to be more fire than we thought it was going to be. The change in between Miles Morales and Peter Parker is like super instant now. It's like it's taking full advantage of the PS5.
I can't wait.
Neither can I. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out in February. I think February 24th,
29th.
29th.
It's supposed to be like 100 hours.
100 hours of content. That's what they said. That's
oh my god! I can't wait. I still need to finish Intergrade though.
February 29th. So the fact that it's coming out on a day that doesn't exist every other year, like
that's high. That's
high. Fire. There is no February 29th, 2025. Like, think about that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
that is real tough.
That's crazy. So,
that's real tough.
That finally got a release date. Avatar got a release date, which I was in the works for a while, so I got a release date.
Pandora.
It looks like a regular first person type of thing.
I want to be a Navi. I want to be a Navi. Like,
give me the next movie. Just give me the next movie. Skip to the next movie, bro. Like, I'm good. I don't need the game.
Way of Water was good.
Way of Water was fire.
It was good.
It was fire. Absolutely.
Way of Water was fire. It was fire. It was fire. That shit was fire. All right, that was man, I'm here for that movie. That shit had me thinking I'm a water sign and shit. I was like, bro, after the way I felt about Namor flooding Wakanda and then this shit coming and being all water based, being fire, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm one of these water motherfuckers. But
yo, they was killing it too, and like, and that just, you know what? That's a whole other conversation about how like the difference between like the way they were acting on land in 1 is like 2. Are we going hands in this water?
Yeah, I feel that.
And the way that the creature with I'm trying not to spoil it for people who have seen it. I've seen this one. I don't remember the creature's name. The one that got the scar and came back and was like, "I'm gonna avenge my people" because they tried to ban him for being violent. He's like, "I'm not violent for no reason. I'm violent because of these humans right here." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
No, I get that. That's no. So I mean, that game looks pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna buy it, but.
We're not buying it. But
they should release a demo. They should release a demo.
Demo.
Put it on Game Pass. Put it on Game Pass.
Put it on Game Pass on PS Plus. Essentially,
there you go. Any game we're not really trying to buy, put that shit on Game Pass. Like,
you know what I'm saying.
I finished the Sea of Stars demo the other day. By the way,
you need to finish the motherfucking game.
I just wanted to say
I ain't finished the game yet. I mean, I've been playing it.
Well, it's fire. Okay, it shouldn't be called Sea of Stars. It should be called Fire of Fire. That's what it should be called.
Fire of Fire.
Fire of Stars. Sea of Fire. Fire of Fire. Fire. Whatever you want to call it.
Or just F.
What it needs to be.
Fire. Just call it Fire. That's all you gotta do.
Just call it Fire. Like, the joint was hot, you know.
Yeah.
But the ending was kind of. But
it was a whatever.
Ending was whatever. But the game is fun. You can enjoy the game.
No, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna definitely play some more of it. It's just so much that I'm playing, which will lend to our topic today. But we'll get to that later. And then the Direct came out September 14th, like I said before. They had some stuff. I mean, they showed some more gameplay of Super Mario RPG Remake, which don't put the thumbs down for the RPG Remake. That's gonna be crazy.
Not for the RPG remake. I'm just talking about
the Peach game. Looks pretty cool. It's called Peach Showtime, Princess Peach Showtime now. Like he's trying to save a play or something like that. But like it's gonna be like a side scroller. It looks like gonna be a side scroller, and like she has like a different skins and stuff like that, whatever. Like she's a swordsman, she's a detective, and all that kind of stuff.
Those are about to be a part of her death battle stats. Mark my words. Whenever somebody's gonna be a verse, that's gonna come up as a death battle stat. Now, whenever Peach can get her hands on a sword, she can cut moons down by the nails. Okay, sure. You know what I'm saying. Shout out to Death Battle Bulls, Boomstick, and the Wizard, and the Doc.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. You know what I'm saying?
This is all we do.
Louis, for some reason they showed Tomb Raider 1 through 3, the remaster. That's getting
the remasters. That's right.
1 through 3 is getting like on all the consoles, and I think, and PC, but they showed it on the Nintendo thing first. I was like, okay. I mean,
I don't understand it.
I don't either, but okay. Also, Luigi's Mansion 2 is getting an HD remaster. That's coming out next summer. Oh yeah, Peach is coming out. The Peach game's coming out in March of next year, and then Luigi's Mansion 2 remake is coming out. Remaster, coming out next summer. But the biggest news is it was a rumor going around that we posted about even on our page a couple months ago, and it's true now. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, is getting an HD remaster. They didn't have a release date yet, but it's going to be coming, and it looks really good right now. So I know Desert is someone that was asking. Desert was asking for this for a long time, so I know he's going to be happy about this. So.
What, for the remake?
Yeah,
for any type
HD
of
remake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said he played Origami King. He said it was fine, but it wasn't like the other ones. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't play Origami King.
Nope.
I was supposed to buy it, but I
was supposed to buy it, but I said, nah, I'm good.
Basically. Like, I'm straight.
This ain't Jiggy, so I ain't with it.
Right.
So, if anything, these directs are kind of like a reminder. And I don't know, Wavey, if you had any anymore. They were a reminder of, we got, each one had,
games
two hitters.
Coming.
Yeah, two hitters. Yeah. Two hitters at base, and a bunch of other listed. Like, PlayStation.
Can I get a Twilight Princess remake? How about that?
I don't want a remake. I want a remaster.
No, you want a remake. You want a
remake. Remake is like we went from Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're vastly different games.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't you want to be up
Twilight
you don't
Princess was perfect. It was perfect.
No, but that's when you're remaking a game from hella generations ago. Like that, you don't need to change everything. Like, you had to change a lot of Final Fantasy VII originally to bring it into the modern era. That was, a PS1 game trying to come out on PS4 and 5?
Yeah.
That's 15 years or so?
Yeah.
Damn, actually.
Like maybe more.
Wait, Twilight Princess. Yeah, it's more than that. Twilight Princess is what? No, wait. That's like 18, 24 years or something like that since that joint came out. 24, 25 years. But then Twilight Princess, that was what?
Was that
about to find out.
That was like 10, 15 years
I'll
ago?
give you a guess.
Not 10, but I feel like 2000.
Where you going?
I don't know.
Wavey?
It was like 2006, right?
Boom. 2006.
Oh, okay.
So that came out for the Wii. It was out for the Wii?
It was out for the GameCube.
No, it was on GameCube. It was GameCube. And it was GameCube and Wii.
Yeah, because the Wii came out the next year. That's what it was.
Yeah. That's
a general concept I want to see. I'm clicking on it for the Wii. Guess how much it is still if you get it on like Amazon.
Trash.
No, $49.19.
It's still that much?
Still that much right now.
It's still worth more than Forspoken.
Woo!
Lord Jesus.
Oh wait, guess how much the GameCube version on Amazon is?
It's probably $300.
$60.
$209.
Good.
That's the one. That's the one we care about.
That's the one. That's the fire.
$9.
That's the fire.
I gotta go to my mom's house. I'll see y'all later because I'm sitting on a whole $200 copy of what? $209 online.
Bro, fire! Like, come on now.
No shade to the Wii and stuff like that. Wii was a good console for what it was, but I ain't like the nunchuck type of thing. That's why I just rather the GameCube and like the stuff that came out on there or whatever. So, that's probably why it costs more on GameCube than it does on the Wii. Honestly.
To be exact, for anybody that Googles this, if we're looking right now, if you try to go on Amazon to get this copy of Twilight Princess, it's only one left in stock.
Aha. Okay.
Where am I trying to order from? How Amazon is, like we're trying to order from a certain location. Whatever. Point being, if I'm looking at this right now, it's $209.69 for Twilight Princess. I don't know if that'll turn up like everybody else, turn out like that for everybody else.
Give me that remake. Give me that HD Fire remake, that 4K remake, even though they can't do that shit yet.
And for some reason, Nintendo can't do that. I don't know why, but they can't do it. All the money they're sitting on, they can't do that. I don't believe it.
I just think the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom formula, while fire, I just don't think that it's the fire. Like, I think Twilight Princess was peak.
It was peak Legend of Zelda.
I think so. I mean, it's like yes, like Fighters is amazing. But when Tenkaichi comes out, then
BT4?
the Return of the King, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about. So, like, Fighters. Oh yeah, Fighters, best fighting game in a while. Is holding it down for a little bit right now. Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, same thing. Best Zelda games right now, holding it down. But shit, Twilight Princess. If they make some new name for it or whatever, but make it Twilight Princess. I'll be in that joint. But that's just me personally. I mean, what was Wind Waker? I'll take some more Wind Waker too.
I would definitely
Wind Waker was amazing.
It was great. I thought that was the formula too at the time. I was like, damn, this is it. This is the graduation.
This is the one.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
Oh man. Yeah, so shout out to Nintendo, PlayStation, for having their little shows.
So the idea, the one other thing before we get into, we're sticking with the game thing, was I know you guys brought up the news about this company called Unity trying to hike up prices, and I think PlayStation at base, PlayStation Plus Essential is going up, I think like $20,
something like
next
that,
payment or something like that. So a lot of these services are like increasing their prices, but you guys have the insight on the Unity thing I didn't know anything about.
Yeah. So basically, it came out. Was it this past week? I think it came out early this week. So basically, Unity, they're saying by January 1st of 2024, they're gonna start charging people, charging developers every time their game is installed if they use the Unity framework or whatever, or the Unity developer kit or whatever it is. So a lot of people weren't happy with that at all. Like, I know one company in particular, the people behind the Code of the Lamb, they said, y'all better download y'all versions of Code of the Lamb right now, because January 1st we're taking it down. Because basically they're saying, we're not paying for this. We're not paying for no installation fee or whatever. But then I just saw articles saying that, like, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox is going to pay the fees for these games. I read it. I don't know if they're aware of this right now and all that kind of stuff, but if they did like agree to that, that's pretty bold of them. I just don't believe that they would voluntarily pay the fees for indie devs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. But if they are doing it, that's a big ups to the big three video game companies for doing that. Because I know if people take their games off of like Steam or wherever, Unity might lose a lot of money. It might lose a lot of business just for that in general. So I mean.
Cornered?
Have y'all heard about this?
I hadn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've heard about it. I mean, we got our own history with Unity and all the stuff that, we messed with in the past. But yeah, ultimately, devs are starting to fight back on it. They're going to continue to fight back on it. Nobody likes to do things like this because, we see where greed in industry, whether it's straight to gamers, straight to developers, has hindered the industry. And nobody likes being put in a chokehold. Everybody wants to be able to make their art. And especially when you have a tool like Unity, which if anybody's gone to any game developers conferences or things like that, like Unity has become a very pivotal tool in the video game industry that's gotten more robust. It's not the Unreal Engine latest version, but it is a very powerful and very solid video game engine that a lot of developers use as foundations for tons of games. We don't even know is like powered by Unity. So it's just like when you start putting things like this in place, you're like, all right, well, developers are going to feel a little shafted, especially the indie ones, especially the smaller ones. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's some that are trying to find ways to fight back, especially a lot of European-based game industries or game companies. So, you know, for me, the way I see it, I just don't want greed to hurt the industry. But at the same time, like, I get from a business standpoint, people trying to do what they got to do to make some money. But, like, you don't need to. Like, you don't need to. Like, people are going to make money and use your shit because it's fire. And the more fire games that people make and credit your engine, it's going to sell itself.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, it's just like, well, y'all not putting bread on no table no more because of what? Like, so, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I think it's kind of weak, and I hope, I'm behind the developers fighting back. I just think this is greed. Greed has only, I think, kind of fucked up gaming.
Yeah, because it's gotten so big. It's gotten so big now, and with any like large place, even NBA, whatever, the music industry is still a business. At the end of the day, it's a business, and the business is gonna have to run how you need to run in order to make money. Yeah. So when you hear about people like not getting their publishing back, or there are people like talking about these fees in Unity, it's how the business is ran, and you just gotta know how to play the game type of stuff. Like people been praising a lot of to Puff. So shout out to Puff. He's had an album come out, but it was big that he gave his people that started Bad Boy their publishing back after so many years, which he didn't have to do that. Like honestly, he didn't have to. It's good that he did, but he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it's an industry, it's a business, so you got to run it a certain kind of way, and he was just running it that way for his company that he was starting out. So I mean, was it wrong? Sure, it was wrong, but it's like you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's almost like there's two business models you can have. It's either the one that people are like leaning more towards, and it's the for-profit model, which is you're hiking up prices, you're trying to maybe hire more people on to get more of your product out there, you're getting more customers, so you hike up the prices on the customers, and if they like your product, they'll buy it. Then there's the other one that people will love to have that's not so profitable, and that's the one that people will quote unquote love to patronize, but is not a successful one, is the models that say I'm paying for this off of my own back, and I'm gonna keep the prices at a generally affordable, if not free, standard, and we as a company have to probably find backers or prove that the product or company gets enough eyes where you will donate that much money to our company to be able to keep us to make the products for people to still release it for free. Like, to example, like one that I know of off the top of my head, like Warframe having a lot of backers. Like Warframe's still free. It makes its money off of like people making skins. You can technically make money in Warframe. Like you pour money into it real time, earn enough stuff, and you can sell it back to other players for the in-game currency. So it's like it's rotating its own currency within the game for the work that you're doing, if you want to make a marketplace game out of it, or if you want to just game. Versus like, I won't say the name, I won't bring it up because Sonny will cuss me out. But the other company we'll talk about.
You talking about Destiny?
I didn't say it this time.
That weak ass shit. You ain't have to say it. You ain't have to say it.
Warframe is a free to play game, so that's kind of that's acceptable.
Destiny's
free to play. Destiny's free to play too.
Destiny now is free, but before it was doing that stuff. And it wasn't free to play.
Before
now
they was just robbing.
Before you had to buy the base of this game for $60. And then you had to get the DLCs every quarter, but now they're on the seasonal model.
We got another. We got another
game. They don't
even
have adaptive triggers. They don't even have the adaptive triggers yet, bro. Like, how dare they?
And we got another game to add to that kind of stuff too. It's not just Destiny that was doing it. Now 2K is starting to do that now too.
Yeah, they are.
They got the season pass now, which is great. Like, you're $60, you have a season pass. That is like at the most you're paying $20 for a season pass every season, and then the most you have at least 9 seasons during the fucking like the life cycle of the 2K game. That's crazy to me. How you have a season pass and a $60 game. Like, it's almost like it's pay to win. But like at the same time, it's like either that was gonna be a heavy grind every time, And
people
it's like,
shout out.
We gotta stop seeing 2K as a sports game, and we gotta see it as an RPG / season based game.
Technically, it's the RPG.
It's a season based team game / RPG. Like that's what NBA 2K is.
My mouth is agape because you said it's not a sports game anymore.
Bro, it's not when you got all this extra shit going on. You taking your My Player, and it's an RPG. You're going through a story. You're making decisions. You're building your character up. Yeah. Like, yes, it's wrapped within a sports context,
but it's still RPG.
We're talking like RPG elements that are making it what it is. Like, it's not, So when we got that, then you have the whole season based aspect of it. You look at how Call of Duty's doing it. What they doing? You just playing the game and getting rewards in your season. Like, that's the same thing that you're doing with this. You're playing games. Yeah. And you're getting your rewards on your season. So, like, I get it. It's just kind of crazy because it'd be one thing if they called it was just NBA 2K and it lasted for like 3 years. But nah, like, it's going to be like this in the next 2K and then the next 2K and the next 2K. That's where it's like.
All I'm saying is I hope the people that have 2K24 right now vote with y'all Wallace and y'all don't get the season pass, because if y'all do, they're going to keep on doing this for every 2K to come.
Bro, they're going to get the season pass because Kobe's on the cover. Like, why would you not get the season pass on the Kobe version, bro? Like, they got it. But it's Kobe. Like, people love Kobe, so they're going to buy it, and they're going to buy the season pass. It's a tough edition. 25,
no, I mean,
maybe.
The base game is fine. Like, whatever, do that. But, like, the whole buying VC, buying the season pass, that's going to make it worse for, like, years to come getting the season pass. Like,
yeah, but how you gonna get your stats up in the Kobe edition?
Remember,
you gotta
grind, yo. You gotta grind. It's gonna be a heavy grind. You gotta grind.
Ain't nobody trying to grind.
But, you right? Other people have probably had this idea, but I swear I would think that some of the executives listen to our podcast, because I do remember saying at one point I said, and you can blame me or you can blame other people that brought up this idea, that a seasonal model would be like a better profit as opposed to releasing a whole game.
Mm-hmm. Because they've been doing seasons for a while. Probably. This is the first time he's got to pay for it now. At least for like extra content. That's what I'm saying.
I've been said that these sports games need to go to that model. And I think that Call of Duty would benefit too. But I don't know. Maybe the way the money lines up, maybe not. Maybe there's like this peaking and burst period of when they make a new video game. Maybe. But in my opinion, if they just said NBA 2K and that joint was like Destiny, and year in and year out, it would go through
like Warframe.
Update the rosters
Warframe
and stuff
is
Warframe,
like and they you get the story joint. You can buy skins. You can buy yourself a Steph Curry skin. You can buy yourself a Shaquille O'Neal like 90s, whatever, like that kind of thing, like from their peak year or whatever. Not 90s, but you know what I mean. Like from their year, you buy that skin.
Early 2000s,
so like. The early 2000s, right?
That is peak Shaq.
I don't know why I was thinking. I was thinking.
It's okay.
I was thinking about Jordan at the time. Jordan 90s, like Bulls, like peak era. But that was my point. But the point is, you buy the skin of the player from the age, and $5, and you get to keep that player on your roster, whatever that.
I mean, they could just keep the same model. Like, you could just have all your courts. You could have your My Player, but they could just be like continuous and not end, and then have a new game.
Right.
It could just be the same. It could just be the same shit. Just keep it going.
I don't know why 2K is not doing that, but
that's what I'm saying. I think there's a business decision. I think when they look at it year in and year out, they're like, oh, we're making hella money from the game sales because we're able to get all these people who bought the game to buy it again and rebuy all this shit.
And especially, I mean, I know for people that just get one game a year, like they just get 2K or they just get FIFA or they just get Madden, I can see how it's enticing to like just get the version that includes the VC or stuff with it, so you can like just upgrade your play. It's the only game you're gonna play the whole year, because you're like mostly just there for that. You don't play other kinds of games. But like if you're someone like me or us that play all these other kind of games, and you still can play 2K. So now it's like $60-$70 every other where, and you gotta pay $60-$70 for 2K. And if you want to get up, you gotta pay more VC. Then you gotta take season pass. If you don't want to grind that much, it's a lot. I'm ashamed that 2K is doing it, but I'm not surprised at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, because they make money, like they're making bread.
That's what it's about. But. And in this grand scheme of the news bites, we go into the idea that we've been talking for the past 30 minutes. If you like our content, follow us, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. We keep this content going for y'all. At Phucaname, at Phucapod on all podcast platforms.
Yes.
Gaming allegedly was tagged this year as being stale, and we were going to get him on. We'll get him on later. Shout out to 8-Bit. Gaming. We're chatting with him a little bit, but hopefully he'll join us later. Like, he put out a reel on IG, like, is gaming stale, and all these other examples of games. And we've been saying that for ourselves for a while, so we're saying that now. Is gaming stale right now?
No.
Is gaming stale, y'all? Like,
I don't know.
I'll answer in one word, and I'll probably laugh. No. No, it's not. Like, this is probably like one of the better years of gaming in a long time. Like, at least with the constant releases coming out, and they're all quality releases too. Like, they're not like, it's not like it's just trash coming out and then like one quality and then more trash. No, it's like quality after quality after quality. It's so much that came out this year. I thought last year was bad. No. That was like given to this year.
I think what we would have to do is we would have to say, let's define it. You know what I mean? Like, what does being stale mean? And then I think we can properly answer. But I think the answer is still clear. So, like, what would make gaming stale? Would it be that there aren't a lot of good games coming out? Would it be that they're not exciting and there are a lot of games coming out, but they're not all quality? What would it mean? I think we can answer it clearly.
It could be the first one that the games aren't like that good, or it could be like they're all like the same kinds of games. Either way, this year is not like that because, like I said before, the quality games coming out is crazy. 2, all these games are not the same. There's always some kind of different genre or some kind of different, like, something new is being added to something, especially this year. Like last year, like I said, last year was like that too, but this year is like even more so.
I could see how, like, 2018, 2019.
I could see that, yes. 2018, 2019.
Might have been.
The whole Battle Royale scene was out. Everyone was making one and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know,
yeah.
I could see that. I could see that, sure.
2018, I think this will answer it, right? I think this answers it. 2018, we had God of War, right?
Great game.
We had Red Dead Redemption 2.
Didn't play it. I heard it was great.
It was fire. Monster Hunter World, which people loved. We had Dragon Ball Fighters. We had Spider-Man. We had Smash Bros. Ultimate. You know what I'm saying? So like there were some fire games, and there was probably more, right? There's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Oh, Detroit Become Human, which was fire. And 2019, right? We had Sekiro. We had Mortal Kombat 11, Devil May Cry 5, which is fire. Star Wars Fallen Order, Kingdom Hearts 3, Apex Legends, the first Plague Tale, Innocence, Gears 5, Anthem came out that year. Trash. You know what I'm saying?
I'm shout out to Concrete Comics. I had a conversation with him and I saw his stream. The game looks great. The only problem was that the content just went stale. Anthem. Like, the quality of the
game did look good. Right. It looked good. Yeah,
Anthem
looked awesome.
Anthem was cool. Just that when I got it, no one in the squad ever got it. So
I had it. We both had it. We was the only ones who played it. Oh, yeah. I was right there. What do you mean? I was right there. I was right there.
Cornered did get it, guys.
I was hyped. I was right there. And then 2020 was when the heat started coming.
That was when the heat just...
We had... Cyberpunk 2077, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, the Animal Crossing New Horizons, Last of Us Part 2, Hades. Like, it was kind of hot. Right. There was the Marvel's Avengers game, which ain't nobody really fuck with except Eric. There was Trials of Mana, which was fire.
Great game.
Yeah, like so there was some dope stuff. 2021, okay, boom. Halo Infinite, nah. You know what I'm saying? Resident Evil Village, right? That got very great reviews. Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, yes.
Great.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, depends on how you feel about it.
Depends on who you ask about it.
Yeah, Kena Bridge of Spirits, which was fire. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're talking like that was maybe like a middle stagnant kind of whatever. And then last year, Elden Ring, next Plague Tale, Ragnarok, Bayonetta 3, Stray, like Tunic, you know what I'm saying? Like Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, like
last year I'll grab on
Sonic Frontiers.
I'll grab onto that one. And I'll say that out of the ones that you just listed, 3 of the 4 of those jumped out to my memory. And that was like Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Frontiers, because it was like the first Sonic game in like a decade that had people's attention. I don't. There's other games that come out for Sonic that came out within the past 10 years, that came out and it was very lukewarm or no response at all. But Frontiers was like the first one that had people's attention, that had been teased for a while. We got an open world Sonic game. You can run around as far as you want to go and all that kind of jazz. And that also got great reviews, great response. So that was up there with that. And then I think there was something else you said. Stray, won the indie game of the year, by the way, and
was nominated for game of the year.
Yeah, so
it was.
So
that's on Xbox too.
So that's a whole year of the like each one of those games dominated their quarter. This year is coming out like.
Well, it started out with Forspoken in January.
Came out with what?
Forspoken in January after they pushed the release because God of War was coming out. They was like, nah, fuck that.
No, we ain't problems.
We ain't doing this shit. That's a good thing they did too. They bought a couple more months for their company, because if that shit got released with God of War, bro, they'd have shut that shit down the next week, bro. Santa Monica would have bought them out.
Everybody's like, you know what? Would have been mad. Messed up.
Right? They wouldn't have had no money for the kids. Be like, actually, y'all gonna need to work all this time. You're gonna need to pay us this money because we're going under. Like, so that came out. There was Hi-Fi Rush,
which is I think to me is one of my favorite games I've played so far this year. To me, that shit was great.
Well, look at that. See, I mean, that shit was fire. There's Dead Space, the Dead Space remake, which was fire. Hogwarts Legacy. Let's not forget Hogwarts Legacy.
Had a dip, but
they come out this shit, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. So I mean, Hogwarts Legacy was. I mean, it wasn't everything it was supposed to be, but it was still really good. There was Destiny Lightfall. There was
Destiny fans saying that too, guys.
Exactly. There was the Last of Us Part 1 remake. There was Sifu, which was fire on PlayStation. There was Jedi Survivor this year, which was
Street Fighter 6 came out.
Street Fighter 6 came out. There was I'm just looking at it right now. Marvel's Midnight Suns, I heard was good. Lord of the Rings Gollum, that shit was trash. But yeah, Street Fighter 6, that was in June. Diablo 4, meh. That ain't Diablo 2, that's for fucking sure. And then let's see. Then we go to July, because June was kind of dry. We go to July. Was July kind of dry? No, that was Ratchet and Clank. No, that was on PC. That was when it came out on PC.
Final Fantasy 16. That came out in July.
Final Fantasy 16.
That was June. That was end of June.
That was June.
That was June.
Did I skip that? Oh, I did. It was so fire. Yeah.
It came out yesterday.
It was so
good.
Yesterday. All right. It was so good. Baldur's Gate 3 in August. Red Dead Redemption on the Switch.
That's insulting.
Wow, right.
That's so insulting.
I know, right? Armored Core 6, Sea of Stars.
Remnant 2 came out.
Oh, yep. Bomber Cyberpunk also. And then, September, Starfield.
Lies of Peace coming out.
Yeah, Lies of P is coming out. The Cyberpunk 2077 DLC is coming out next week. October, we got Spider-Man. We got Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Payday 3 is coming out, too.
Yep, Payday 3. Let's see. We got the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. I just got to mention that because, Kojima ain't going to give him a credit, but... Shout out to Kojima. And then
we got Metroid Prime Remaster came out this year too.
The Metroid Prime Remaster,
came
that's
out
right.
For the Switch, yep.
There's a new Star Ocean game that's coming. There's Call of Duty that's happening in November. Super Mario RPG, November.
And Wonder's coming out too.
So like, this year has some good
bangers.
Shit. It's a lot of releases. And I just listed the things that I think are noteworthy. Like there was much more stuff. So I think the reason why it's important is because is it stale? I don't think so. But is good? Is there quality? I think there has been quality, and I think maybe there was some iffy down years a little bit ago. But nah, I think it's quality right now. I think this is a really good time for gaming.
Oh yeah,
right now, yeah.
Like it's crazy because like that's like before this we recorded this, you were talking about how like favorite eras in gaming and stuff like that, and like I know one of y'all said that obviously the PS2 era, the PS3, 360 era, where there was a whole lot of games coming out that like even nowadays like you don't hear about the cold classics no more, but they were out and they were pushing like that gaming genre forward at that time. now it's not really cult classics right now, but it's more so like it's in between that like corporate kind of greed, but at the same time it's appealing to like the gamers as well, because there's so much quality and so many different types of games coming out that like if you forget like how to like it's on the thing like if you didn't beat this game in this amount of time, you're probably gonna move on to the next game and it's gonna increase your fucking backlog.
Yep.
Like me, for example. Like
Same.
you know what I'm saying? So
Same.
I mean that's just me. So I like when I saw that tweet a couple months back about it, I was just like, wow. So we know you only play certain kinds of games. You're saying not this year. If you're saying this year, then you only play certain types of games. So
Yeah.
Are you the targeted margin right now? And the answer is probably no, if you feel that way around this time. For me, and this is the first time I felt this way in a long time, as someone who's played Destiny, as someone who's played games that are generally free and have constant content always coming. So like a Destiny, like was I paid for those, but Warframe was always content that was coming and stuff that you had to do. GTA, I'll admit, I was playing off and on, playing online, and like as you paid for that, once you paid for that, the content was free. Now if you want to get the shark cards and get the money, that's up to you, playboy or girl or play person. Like that's what you want to do. Invest in
there
the
you go,
game.
person.
Play person.
Play people.
Play people. There you go. Right.
It's up to you, play people. If you want to put those shark cards into your experience for GTA, but everything with that generally is once you bought the game, you have access to everything. This year, I think my wallet has felt the most threatened. It has
Very threatened. Very threatened.
And I just got married, and it was like, my wallet's like, I know you just got married, homie. But these games, though. Let me recover.
You know Spider-Man 2's coming out, right?
Spider-Man 2. I played the demo for Lives of P. My homies, and shout out to Cornered. I'm not going to act like I'm not ignoring Cornered or other people, but like Final Fantasy 16 is like, you got to get this game. It's not like a Final Fantasy game you can ignore. 15 was a game you could ignore.
You could ignore it if you wanted to. Like,
What, 15?
Yes.
Yeah, if you could ignore 15. Matter of fact, skip that shit. I mean, look, it's only so many hours in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, play Final Fantasy 16. This shit is fire. And also, my partner Clive, bro, he's got to be the GOAT protagonist in Final Fantasy.
I think he's the strongest Final Fantasy of all time at this point. Yeah.
Think so?
I think it's a record.
Yeah, there can't be. I don't know what Final Fantasy protagonist is stronger than Endgame Clive. Like, I truly don't.
Okay.
Like. He solos God at the it's real Japanese RPG
game, right?
shit. It's true Japanese RPG shit. Like he solos God at the end and wins.
Basically,
harnesses the power of every icon, and I'm just like, okay,
no.
I was cool with it. I was like, all right,
I believe it. All right.
I was like, man. The only reason I was pissed is I was like, why you gotta die in the end, bro? Like, why you can't just?
Did you just spoil it?
Oh, did I?
Nah, he didn't spoil anything. He was lying.
Right, because he's not. Like, obviously he's not dead, bro.
Obviously, they wouldn't do that.
Right.
I was like,
how you supposed to get? How you?
It's over like you
what?
talking about. Let's move on,
bro. I know you're not done with it, dog. Like, what
I
the
haven't.
fuck?
Man, whenever I get my copy, right? Whenever I get my copy, I've got.
You don't have the copy yet? I thought you at least had a copy.
I'm gonna make it happen. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Shame.
Don't worry about me.
Shame.
Don't worry about that play person.
Anyways, my whole point is, all I'm gonna say is you play the game and then you play it again. Okay, play it again after, and then after that, play it again. Okay,
and there's actually incentive to play it again because of the Ultima weapons content and the other stuff that you get. There's incentive to play the game again.
I think you get.
You know,
and you can have Final Fantasy mode after you beat it. I think.
What's Final Fantasy mode?
It's just harder. You just harder shit.
Oh, okay. I ain't do Final Fantasy mode, so
you have to do it on Final Fantasy mode to get Ultima.
Got it. So it's like,
oh, okay.
That's when they up the level cap, because when you play the game, the level cap is 50, but then they up it to 100, so then you do it again, but you're like at the bottom again. So it's like, fuck, like I can't just run through this shit to get Ultima. I have to play this game again to get Ultima.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to
all
do
them
that shit.
cutscenes over and over again.
But you can skip all them shit. You skip them
You
cutscenes,
can, yeah.
and then doing the missions to get the weapons. Like it's a lot. And then you don't get. And then this ain't even gonna be. Well, this is a spoiler too, but like whatever. But you don't get Ultima until the very end of your second.
Well, that's a necessary
so,
fact. That's not a spoiler per se. That's something you need to know.
Yeah, it's something you got to know so you can weigh it if you want to do that. So for me, that's why I did 2.5 playthroughs because I did a third playthrough so I could use Ultima. I was like, all right, let me,
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Otherwise, you just use it against the boss. So,
what I want to know from y'all. Okay, so obviously, because of the quality coming out this year, this game of the year is probably going to be very, very tough. But my thing is, do you think this at the Game Awards? Do you think that this Game of the Year category is going to be as tough as 2020 Game of the Year category?
No, I don't think it's going to be that tough.
I don't think so either.
I think it's going to be real tough, though. The only reason I don't think it's going to be that tough is because I think it's clear who's going to win. And I think in 2020 it wasn't clear. I think this year, I think Baldur's Gate's going to win. I just think Baldur's
You think Baldur's Gate going to
win?
Over Tears of the Kingdom and
yeah, I think Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
I don't think it's keeping the same hype as Breath of the Wild did. I think Breath of the Wild, it was like, oh my god, Breath of the Wild is sweeping. But like, I don't think Tears of the Kingdom will do the same. If it does, cool. But I think Baldur's Gate is gonna hold it down. The only game that I thought could maybe blow past it would be like a Starfield, but I don't think Starfield's gonna.
Starfield.
I don't think so
Starfield's
either.
hype was so crazy, and it looks beautiful. And it's another concept about
good.
Trailers and cinematography and cinematics of a game in between gameplay to tell a story is amazing. The Forspoken's graphics, amazing. You know what I'm saying? No. For the demos they put out and all the stuff they were trying to use to promote it.
Forspoken had mad lighting issues and they had a decent amount of animation issues. So I won't say it was this crazy thing. Forspoken was
okay. All right. Well, Final Fantasy 16 delivers on cinematography and gameplay. So Starfield looks amazing, and as a PlayStation player, I was like, yo, we about to be whole jealous. Like, y'all got this. Xbox got this whole thing, and now it's jokes. It's bumping the characters. Oh, hi. How are you? Hello. New cycles.
At the end of the day, it is Bethesda. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a game with. It's going to be a game you can milk it for how many hours you want, basically. I think the campaign is.
Motherfuckers want Final. Elder Scrolls 6.
That's what they want. That's what probably a lot of people want. Actually, I'm not one of those people because I'm not big in the Elder Scrolls, but I know a lot of people want Elder Scrolls 6. I've been in development for how many years at this point?
I don't fucking know. Too many. Way too many years, bro. People want Elder Scrolls.
I want Titanfall 3.
But I know Starfield was in development for I think it was 8 years or something like that, or maybe longer, something. Mm-hmm. But I know, and I know with Starfield it has because of all the hype, got a lot of attention. Excuse me, y'all, for y'all listening.
Yeah.
So.
That's disgusting. You filthy animal. Disgusting, right? Get the fuck off, belching and shit. Disgusting. Ugh.
But I know recently it just got in the news again because in the character select screen, and I think Corner, you played it, so you know where I'm probably gonna go with this. But you could choose either him, her, or they, or whatever, pronouns basically. Yeah, and some people got so upset at that. Some people say, "Oh, I'm gonna turn my copy because of it." Yeah, a couple people that got this help. But at the end of the day, you don't have to do that either. You can skip that if you want to.
You can. Yeah, you can. You put your pronouns in the game. You can. I don't think you can skip that. You put your pronouns in. Maybe you can. I don't know. But
I think you can skip it. I saw someone I saw shout out to the Act Man. He did it where he could skip that stuff, or whatever. But it was just a whole lot of people just getting upset over that little thing because it's people that say this a lot now. This game is woke now because you could do this, you could do that, and it's dog, it's a video game. It shouldn't be that serious.
I lied to you not.
Yeah, bro.
On YouTube when I was looking up stuff while we were in our earlier meeting, is for the podcast. One of the suggested videos was why woke characters kills a game or something like that. It was some YouTube video title like that, why woke characters makes people upset. So
which I hate that now. Like,
it's dumb, bro. Like the reality is, when you have a game that is focused on you creating a character that's supposed to embody you, obviously they want to take more people into account and be inclusive about it. Like you can't just have character creators that aren't inclusive, but expect people to be engaged and immersed in the characters they create. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just, it's not possible anymore. So if we move forward with society and there are characters, or we move forward in society and we now have a video game where, okay, like we'll celebrate having a relationship that's either heterosexual or homosexual or whatever it is. Like you can do that in a video game now, and it's not because we're letting you create this character and there's pathways that you can go to. Like if they just started and you're like playing a character, like, oh, here's Geralt or whatever. Like Geralt is a heterosexual male, so like that's him. But like if you create a character in a game like a Bethesda game where you can just pick and choose what you want to do, obviously they want you to be able to come in and create a character that speaks to you. So like it's just like when I have a black character, like I want to have a hairstyle that's black, or I want to have a skin tone that's dark. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't always the case years and years ago, but now it is, because it should always been there. So, yeah. But I think what a big issue, I think, a lot of people are like, oh, it's woke. But then also a point further than that, there's another trend in gaming and character creation, which is getting away from the pick your gender, like male or female. It's more so like pick your body type. They'll say pick your body type, or pick your walk, or pick your voice, like right. Trying to keep it more kind of neutral as opposed to trying to keep it binary, which, hey, end of the day, that's fine. Like it's clearly this body type is for, more masculine and this one is more feminine. So it is what it is. But I think what the big deal was in Starfield was that also like you would pick your pronouns, but like they were misgendering people in the game because like somebody picked like they, them, and then but they picked like a woman's walk type, and then they were being referred to as she in the game, and so it was like, but those aren't my pronouns, so like there were things like that that obviously will need to be cleaned up, and the reality is like in society today, everybody isn't crystal clear on it. That's just the reality. And so because of that, like the gaming won't be neither, but they'll fix it. They'll patch it. Like they'll make sure everything is right in the way it's supposed to be. But it's too many people out here. Every time they push forward in the games industry to do something inclusive, motherfuckers is like, oh, that's woke. Like, bro, like
exactly, and it's starting to get that word's starting to get overused now just because of that and because of other things. But like, I mean, a lot of it is because of that. So
I'm so tired of the term.
It's definitely got like I'm not with it no more.
Defined, I guess you could say. It's like it's been
something like that.
The term needs to be thrown in the trash. It just needs to be gone, bro. Like one of my old coworkers was like, "Oh, the Witcher series is like woke," and I was like, "What makes it woke?" And he was like, oh, the characters aren't the same from the books. And I was just like, bro, where in the books does it define this person as this and make it important? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Triss is black now. Like, was her race important in the book? No, it had no value. So, like, they have the opportunity to change it there and be inclusive. So, like, but you mad that this thing that had no value.
Was that the last season? Was it the last season with the... What show was that? Was it the last season with the... Oh, you know what? It might have been that... no, I think it might have been that spin-off Witcher. The one that was about, like, the first creature. The dude who who became the Witcher because he fell in love with the druid. Like, his lady, like, took over the kingdom, and they had to band together and became that new group to take down the kingdom, whatever.
Oh, was this the other series that they did? Yeah. I don't think it's called Bloodline.
But it made me think about that with the inclusion of. Ooh, it's raining right now. I'm sorry about that, y'all. It's including including different types of relationships in your series now, as a part of the part of the narrative,
But then in the Witcher series, like the woman who plays Francesca, the elf queen lady, like she's black, but she's like white passing.
Yes,
so like,
yes.
Ain't nobody
oh my gosh, yes.
Her.
When I saw her, and then we looked up the actress or whatever, and I was like, "Excuse me,
yeah,
like, that was crazy."
But ain't nobody up in arms because like they just. But again, like back in back in the day, like that was the default. It was like, oh, okay, well, this character's white, and in an effort to be inclusive, when you identify, and again, shout out to Hollywood for doing that when you can, to being inclusive without bringing a bunch of madness onto your product by saying, hey, where are the opportunities to put diversity in here? Well, let's start to look at the areas that have no value in the other shit and make an opportunity here. Well, this character's race was not established as something vital to their story. So this character is going to be black now. We're not going to have the casting say, oh, this needs to be a white woman in her late 20s. No, it just needs to be a woman in her late 20s. And it can still work because her race isn't this huge factor in their source material. But people will be like, oh, she was white in the source material, so she got to be white and whatever. But, that didn't matter. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is a side character. It didn't matter. So there was an opportunity there. And it's fine. But people be like, oh, no, it's woke. It's woke. I can't watch it. It's too much this, that, and the other, and too much people talking about blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, come on, get over yourself. Enjoy some content, dog. What are we doing?
So the idea
right
that Wavey, that you said that that it is a pronoun choices in Starfield, which is creating because Starfield you get to be human, right? What other race can you be?
Yeah,
Starfield.
I think it's just human. When
Starfield, you're only human. It's not like
Baldur's Gate, right?
It's
is Dungeons and Dragons.
Baldur's Gate is Dungeons and Dragons, but even in Bethesda games like Fallout, you're human. But in Elder Scrolls, their world is based on all these different races. You have all these different races of beings that you could be. But Starfield's not. Starfield is all humans.
So
Starfield is just a space game, and you got mad side missions and main missions, and you can do everything forever.
Mad side missions and main missions.
That sounds legitimate.
Forever, not get bored.
That sounds very legitimate right now. I got my main missions. I got missions and got side missions. Well, what's the difference between your mission and your side missions? Well, the main mission is the story mission, but the mission is just the middle mission. Then the side mission is the mission that pops up during the mission.
Yeah, it's just so. It gets. Look at this. That's crazy. Like you said, for it's regular Bethesda, so you already know it's just a lot of different things you could do in the game and not get bored. Probably depending on who you are. Unlike Ubisoft.
I'll ask this. Since Starfield was so high, shout out to all these game companies marketings and PR companies for doing the damn thing, and I'll just say that. Was it all what it was hyped up to be?
They live up to the hype.
Yeah.
They live up to the hype. It's good,
so far, I wouldn't say so far it's lived up to the hype. But it's fine.
It's good. I think it's good. Especially because this is their first new IP in 25 years or something like that. So I think it's I think it's good.
It's fine. It's fine. The UI is garbage. The user interface is trash. It's easily Bethesda's worst interface that they've put out in a video game. That shit is garbage. But the game is fine. It's not this groundbreaking crazy game.
Nah.
And a lot of people have been saying oh, don't compare it to Cyberpunk 2077. I'm
Funny you say
what? Fuck that. I'm gonna bring Cyberpunk 2077 into this shit because Cyberpunk 2077 got heat when it came out. That shit got
you read my mind. I
heat.
swear.
And you know what? It deserved the heat that it got.
It did
because it came out buggy as shit unless you had a PS5. On PS5 it was alright. I didn't have hardly no issues. I was fine. But on other things, it had hella bugs, hella issues. And then CD Projekt Red, like CD Projekt Red does, went and fixed the shit. And then, fire.
Now, mind you, as of this recording, Phantom Liberty's coming out, in a couple of weeks?
September 25th?
So with this...
Let me see. I think it's 28th.
28th, and while we're checking that out, I read an article, shout out to Paul Tassi for Forbes, answering the question, is this a good time if you have the game to start a new character on Cyberpunk? And his answer was yes.
26, my fault. September 26th is coming
so
up.
That's
absolutely. It's a great time.
Not this week coming as of this recording, next week.
We're recording on September 17th, so it comes out next Tuesday?
So technically
next Tuesday.
As of this recording, if you're listening to this episode, most likely it'll be this Tuesday coming.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But
yeah.
But the idea is from the article that this week you have the chance to as of the 19th or the 20th or whatever, start a new character to get the experience of the game, and then do Phantom Liberty, and then do the story mode or whatever. So, like, but the point is, like, wait till patch whatever to get the new, all the new 2.0 to get all the new stuff, all the new Cyberpunk. And then go ahead and do this stuff. But it took how many years for them to get to 2.0 and be like, now we're good. So, like, Starfield might be trash right now, and maybe in 2 years, maybe in like a half a year.
Cyberpunk.
Starfield's not trash.
But like,
Starfield's not trash.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you get your car, and then you just get the elbow grease on.
Well, it's still. I mean, I think this is the smoothest launch that I think a Bethesda game.
Most definitely the smoothest launch.
They don't have. As somebody who's played a lot of their launch games, okay, like them shits be buggy as fuck sometimes, but like it's fine. They smoothed a lot of that out. They took the time. That's cool. I don't think the way that the game operates is it. What I think, and I've talked to some of my other buddies about this too. What I think the big thing is people don't really know what Starfield is, and what I mean by that is Elder Scrolls is Elder Scrolls. We know what that type of game is. Fallout is Fallout. We know what that is. Starfield isn't quite trying to be Elder Scrolls in space. It's not trying to be Fallout in space. Yeah. It's trying to be something different, but still have like the core Bethesda RPG formula on something a little bit different. So I think it's going to take time before it becomes what it really wants to be. But I do think that in terms of the first person aspects of this like dope RPG, I think there are strong comparisons to be made to Cyberpunk because of how they handle things like, the weapon mechanics, the physics, the weight of combat, and things like that, while making like this new expansive like shooting kind of esque RPG. And like whereas Cyberpunk was more so related to like the Deus Ex series, this one is more so related to like Fallout in space. But at the end of the day, I think they're both very, very solid games. But I do think that where Cyberpunk was after they patched it the first time, I think that game was dope. That game was dope, and I played it through when it was buggy. The first time, I thought that game was dope, and then when they fixed everything, I was like, oh, this is just better now. So like, if Cyberpunk 2077 had launched this smoothly, that game would have gotten way highly, better regard and everything. And remember.
2021, maybe.
Candidate for sure, but I don't think it would win. But also too, like they have a lot of money going into that project, got a lot of people involved. They had Keanu Reeves invested in the entire project. Now they got Idris Elba in the DLC. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they're not scrubs by any means, and the story's gonna be good. The gameplay is good for the game. Like if you played the game, like it's tight. So. I think that they are a product of the work that they've put into the game. I think Starfield is, a lot of people had bought it before it came out because it was Bethesda, Bethesda's new IP. I mean, I think people felt the same way about Cyberpunk too, but Cyberpunk had a little bit more to prove because people was buying it because it was like, oh, they made The Witcher, so this is going to be fire.
Yeah.
They had just made The Witcher, so this thing next going to be fire. But this is kind of more like, okay, similar to Bethesda's formula, but it's still a little different. So, I mean, I think we've yet to see what it's going to become.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to have like some more, like, especially with like the mod community, like Frosty even put it up that like probably a week into the game, there's already like a 21-page manual of how to make a Starfield destroyer, something like that.
Oh yeah, they've been modding. Bro, they've been modding the game like crazy. Mind you, they modded out the pronouns, and then Nexus Mods, who's probably the biggest servicer of mods. I mean, motherfuckers use them for everything. Like they're taking down all the mods that are removing pronoun selection or removing pronouns from the game.
Which makes sense.
Because they're trying to be decent people and support shit like that. And there's a whole conversation about shit like that too. There's a big conversation about why are you censoring my content? Like why can't you let me make some art that I want to make? You feel me? So that conversation is going to keep on going forever about what is socially and right to do. But
Yeah, you know how that goes.
You know, like the same, like Nexus mods will let you make mods to make every single character butt ass naked 24/7, but they're gonna take it off because you can't. It's like pronoun. You know what I'm saying? So like you just sitting there like, okay, Nexus mod. Like so people will be like, oh, y'all into some agenda, and like I can understand why people would say that, but at the same time, they just like, well, if you're trying to take this out because you're trying to be insensitive to people, like sure. Like motherfuckers is perverts. That's why they got all the mods up there.
Basically, that's what it is.
Nude mods. Like Rule 30. Rule 34. So
to be honest, now like there's something.
But I mean,
so in the grand scheme of things, right? We'll have an episode on our like game of the year candidates, because I think I want to give it a little more time to cook personally on like how we get closer. We pretty much probably know how it's gonna look. We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
But in essence, to talking about Starfield and how it's going to come out, hopefully it comes out a little more polished, and hopefully it does better. I think in talking about game being stale, I'll personally say this about the games I want to get this year in general. Like, I bought Armored Core 6. I want Final Fantasy 16. I want Lies of P when it comes out. I want Spider-Man when it comes out. Survivor has become a part of my backlog of games. I just beat Fallen Order last week. Wow. So
how'd you like it?
It was good. I liked it. I liked the way it turned, and I already had been spoiled that Vader shows up at the end, so I already saw that coming.
Same.
But other than that, it was good, and allegedly that might be canon as well with the Star Wars universe. So we'll see if that gets worked in at some point. Especially with, like, I read about Survivor. Hopefully I'll play that to actually experience it. Because reading a story and experiencing are two different things. But there's, like, what's the count? That's, like, 4 or 5 games on my list to get that came out this year. I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so basically I think what we're all saying is that that whole tweet or whatever, the tweets came out early this year, they're false. You know, everyone can have opinions, but opinions can also be wrong. So
that's right.
Opinions can be wrong.
What's it? You're entitled to your own opinions, but you're not entitled to your own facts. And it's not a fact that gaming is stale. The fact is gaming is stale for you. You know, for the people that understand.
For you, exactly. Maybe you don't play everything under the sun, but just people that actually do. This year is probably like a peak year in gaming that gaming is seen in a while. Yeah. So I'm very happy about that. And also another game came out this year. I forgot what was it called. It was called Avium, Immortals Avium, whatever, which is basically like it looks like Call of Duty. It's like a first person like kind of magic kind of game, whatever. Yeah. It was promoted a couple times, but this should have been a news buzz, but I forgot about it. So apparently Ascendant Studios, who made the game, they laid off almost half their employees after the launch of the game. Yeah. It's getting the Forspoken treatment right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, Forspoken treated
it. And I'm not shocked about that. I'm only shocked about just when the company's like, well, they didn't do well. Sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like, chop off your hand to cut your losses. Like, that's a sad
I mean, when no one was excited about it when it was coming out either, though. No one was excited.
I looked at the trailer.
It looks like whatever.
But then something lost me. It's kind of like, that's not it. That's not ticking off my I want to buy list or whatever. Yeah, that's cool. That can be over there. You know. Yeah. So.
Like, I'll get it for free, sure. Put on PS Plus, put on Game Pass, I'll get it. But it wasn't on there.
If you see it in a year on the monthly plus essentials games. You know what I'm saying? I'll
try it out. If it's like a month, 2 months from now, just say let's put it on PS Plus or we put it on Game Pass. Okay, I'll try it out. And then if I don't like it, I'll be like, okay, that's the reason why the employees got laid off, which is not good. Cause I'm not paying for anyone to lose their jobs, nothing like that. But, you know, hopefully they get moved to another studio, like how they did with Square Enix and Final Fantasy and Forspoken. Hopefully they do that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying?
Corner, any other thoughts on people are saying gaming is stale? I think that's pretty much wrapping on talking about this year and answering that question.
No, not too much. I mean, at the end of the day, I think, you know, we hit the nail on the head. Y'all hit the nail on the head. It's really about, you know, there's a lot of games that are coming out. But there is something for you, especially this year. Like, for every type of gamer, there is something for you. but also like there's a lot of new things coming out that are worth expanding your horizons for.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't even gone and played the Horizon 2 DLC yet, and that's on its way. I mean, that already is out. Like the Horizon 2 DLC, I haven't even played that, and that was fire. Like that gives me a reason to go back to that. And like PlayStation Plus, Game Pass, like there are ways to go and experience some of these other dope games.
Yeah.
Like for the low. So, you know, and that's the thing. Like, there are games out here. You know, it's just a matter of going, finding them, getting them. I don't think this is stale or stagnant. There might be a certain type of game that is, like the Battle Royale games. I think those are hitting their stale and stagnant point. But,
you know what? Nintendo got some nerve too with that too, man. Nintendo got some nerve in the Direct, because like in the Direct, they asked me F-Zero news. I'm like, oh, they showed F-Zero like to Nintendo kind of F-Zero. I'm like, oh snap, F-Zero's coming out, and the whole child, like, F-Zero's coming out. F-Zero 99. It's a battle royale, free to play, but it's a battle royale of free F-Zero 99. Like I touched this at 99 or whatever, and you like battle with 99 people, or whatever. It's the same thing with F-Zero, and I'm just like, the way my smile went to a frown so fast during that announcement, and they really had me. They fooled me, and they had me in a chokehold just for it to be a battle royale.
Like Popeye's biscuit.
Yeah, yeah, it did. With no soda.
With no soda, no water,
bev.
no nothing.
No bev.
Oh my god. Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
I mean, that sounds like
Nintendo got some nerve for that
concept. F-Zero is a race game. No, not.
It sounds like they're not reading the audience. Like people want to remake or remaster F-Zero or just make a new F-Zero. That's what people want. They're like, nah, let's just do this 99 thing. Let's do a battle royale. Like, even though battle royales are low,
but it's gonna be a race.
Let's get into it,
right? So he's got to beat 99 people.
Yeah, but I mean, people don't want that. No one wants that. No one wants that shit.
Fortnite is still going strong, so I don't know.
It is. Fortnite and Apex Fortnite and Apex got it a lot.
How's Overwatch 2 doing? Everybody got to check on Overwatch. Is that good? Was it? Are y'all good over there?
Talk to Desert about that.
Nah. Overwatch 2 weak.
Everybody got a lifeline on Overwatch 2, bro. Like, what's up with it? Y'all good over there in the Himalayas?
Right.
Nobody talks about Apex. Nobody talks.
Calling phone in Desert like, you still play Overwatch 2, Desert? No? Okay. That was your last man right there.
Point is a point, right? But that's all his case. And then that's a wrap. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. What's up?
Last thing. This is unrelated, but the official Dragon Ball timeline was put out, and there was an event that was some event in Japan that happened. I think it was like some Budosai event, something like that, at some Dragon Ball exhibit. But basically, they put out the official timeline, and GT was included. GT was included on the timeline, and so like everybody's sitting here like, so GT is canon. Apparently, so far, according to that timeline, the events of GT take place after Beerus and Oob and all them are around, like by X amount of years or something like that. So it's very possible and plausible that we may see the events of GT either redone or adjusted. This is all speculation for after, what's happening. Now, we've seen signs of this already because Oob is canon.
Yes.
Oob is canon. He showed up in the manga. Oob also apparently has God Ki or equivalent God Ki, which is why people were saying, oh, Majin Buu had, God Ki and blah, blah, blah. So, Oob being who he is means Oob becomes a teenager years later when he fights Goku at the World Tournament. They train and all that shit again. You know what I'm saying? Later. Oh no, not the World Tournament. When they were training later at the Lookout. When they were training at the Lookout. No, when they fought at the World Tournament, he was a boy. And then they were training on the Lookout.
Right, I remember that.
And that was after Goku had officially made him like his student or whatever. And that was years later. So technically, this would be, I don't know, maybe a decade or so past where they are in the current Super manga. But the biggest question of all here is, does that mean Super Saiyan 4 is stronger than where we're at now? You know what I'm saying? That's the big question, because if that comes after, then what does it say about Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct and Super Saiyan?
I'll tell you right now what that says. That definitely says that those forms are an adjacent version of some type of other access of ki that you have. That's a form of access to, like, that's like basically saying I got Super Saiyan, and then Ultra Instinct is just like one of my sub A category transformations to deal out certain type of techniques. That's like Ryu and then Akuma Ryu or whatever. Like, it's an adjustment. It's like turning left, but that's not my ultimate form. Like, I can still go straight up. Like, the fact that you said that overall takes my mind into several places. That means that you are now locked in with a 10-year gap of whatever happens. That means a lot of people can't. Some people can't die now. Like, I'm saying, if you had somebody plotted to die, people can't die now. What else? Shoot, just like a Pan has to definitely like see that come up or whatever.
Pan already exists.
See it come up.
She's already
she's
there.
capped. She can't grow much more than, than whatever. I don't know.
Yes,
like,
yes, she can. Did you see the movie? The
I didn't
superhero
see the
movie?
But I already heard about like how that's going to like.
She's like 3
she's
in
already
that
doing
movie.
her thing.
Yeah.
It was like I think the best acting of the year was like Frieza. I think that meme we posted on our story was like Frieza goes to Frieza in 2020 or whatever, and then goes to Pan in 2022 or something like that. Because like acting like you couldn't do anything about your circumstances or something like that. And she was like, yeah, of course she could definitely do something about her circumstances, and she did. But like when you talk about GT becoming canon, like you said, like especially like the Dragon Ball Hero scenario where like Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Goku, when he powers up completely, he has to keep his powers in check, otherwise he will like rattle universe. And I got a whole conversation with my homie Ryan about how like Dragon Ball characters hold their ki in check at all times, because if they were using 100% of their energy, they would like shake the earth in general. Like, we were going to a whole conversation about how power scaling is in Dragon Ball in general, but if you're talking about that, you have to redo GT if that's the case. In my opinion, if we have this conversation later,
it's all,
and they keep it,
it's all speculative,
bro. Like, you saw how you saw how just spiral,
and apparently
in the end of this episode.
I know, I did. Apparently it resurfaced from an older event like some years ago. So like apparently that resurfaced. So again, it just kicked off the speculation. Nobody knows what's gonna happen, honestly. But in my opinion, GT's great content. They need to redo it and readjust it if they want to, because there was a lot of heat in GT. GT gets a lot of
flack,
like a lot of flack for no reason, in my opinion. And I feel like the people who give it flack need to watch it again, because there was a lot.
Are the evil really dragons can't? You know what? Or the Black Star
GT is canon and all of it. Well, that's the thing. Nobody really knows. They'd have to adjust it, because the Black Star Dragon Balls don't really mean shit once you have the fucking big golden Dragon Balls from the Tournament of Power. Like, it's not really, you know what I'm saying?
I'm on my cabbie joint right now, like.
Yeah, right. And so it's so much that they would have to adjust. I mean, there's the whole God Key bit in general, which if they do, remember, like, there's in GT, Oob and Fat Boo become Maju, right? Now, if you have two like God Key-esque characters that are fusing, they should be dope, right? But remember, in the old GT, like, Maju was not that fire. He was basically cannon fodder so that Super Saiyan 4 could win. Like, he was just there to buy Goku time so he would win. Like, that's really all his character was doing. He got smacked by Baby and got smacked by everybody else that he fought. So, like, you know, they would obviously have to change that, because Oob should have a stronger role than that with the power that he is supposed to have from the manga right now. Like, he's lending God Key as a boy. So, like, he should be fire as a teenager training with Goku. The biggest things are obviously the Super Saiyan transformations. There's obviously Baby. That Baby story is still very much viable and plausible. There's a super android, you know, which is right. Yeah, there's the dragons, obviously, with the Shenron. That whole saga
Tenkaichi
of,
4. Yo, I'm.
Calm the fuck down, all right?
You don't have to
No,
say
I'm
it
just
on another
playing.
podcast episode. Too,
I know, this is a whole other
funny.
podcast, man. But again, like, nobody knows. Like, nobody knows what happened. It's just something resurfaced, and so everybody's speculating again. Nobody fucking knows, really. Like, at the end of the day, we hope that everything doesn't end on this UI thing, but I think what you said, Frosty, was most important. Like, we haven't seen another Super Saiyan form in a while. We've seen Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego. We've seen Ultra Instinct Omen. We've seen Mastered UI. We've seen Super Saiyan God Blue and Red and all that shit. But what about Super Saiyan 4?
And Black Frieza. Where is that?
Fuck Black
but
Frieza,
bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, if GT, he's in hell.
Yeah.
He ain't in hell now. Like,
That's what I'm saying. They would have to rewrite this.
like,
I'm saying, like, to make GT fully work, they'd have to rewrite the joint. And remember, like, they've redone
Broly,
so much
like
stuff, bro.
Broly's
Like,
canon, you know, like,
Broly's canon, Broly's redone, so that's different. The way the Dragon Balls work has been retconned. The way Fusion works has been retconned. Like, all this stuff has been changed. I mean, not the way the Fusion dance goes,
the limit of
but
time,
like
how
that they
much
would have
energy
to
output. Like, oh yeah, because you're Super Saiyan Blue,
Well,
it only lasts for 15 minutes.
Well, that was just speculative. Like for me, because in Dragon Ball GT, of course, when they ended and fought Omega Shenron, the fusion only lasted 5 minutes, and they was like, what the fuck is supposed to last 30? But like, maybe it was because they was too nice. Maybe it was because they fused while they were Super Saiyan 4s. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knows.
In Super, like when he went blue, it shortened, and the earrings came off. It was supposed to be a permanent fusion.
Yeah, the earring one is supposed to be permanent, but they retconned that, and now it's not. So like, and they took off the repercussions, and then like, they obviously fused to fight Broly in the movie. They blew Gogeta to fight Broly in the movie, and they seemed to have all the time they needed. And so I'm just like, well, maybe the fusion will last the full time now, but also we still haven't seen them do the fusion dance in a higher form. But remember, when you do the fusion dance, you have to be at the same power level for it to work. So most of the time, somebody will power up to the same level, because if their bases are different, like they'll power up to the same level,
or power down,
might power up a little bit more, or well, like, yeah. So like Goku might,
right? Yeah.
Right, but they both would like be at a level. So like if their base was here, Trunks will stay here, Goten will go here. But like they'll both be at that power, or they'll both like raise their power to wherever they need to be, and then they'll fuse there and transform in the fused state. But Gogeta in GT was the only one where they were both Super Saiyan 4 and fused as Super Saiyan 4s. And so that's why I think the fusion came out with a different color and all that. Because you remember, it was a different color too. Like everything was weird. You know what I'm saying? But it was different. But it was still fire.
I'm shaking my head for different reasons. I'm not shaking my head, y'all, for anybody watching this part of it. For like, are you upset? Are you bad? Like that.
I just want Majube's redemption. That's it. I just want Majube to be redeemed.
Wavy. Oh, yeah.
I think. Oh, my bad. I'm just fucking rapping now. I just think they just need to. Bruh, I mean, there's so many ways they need to take us to go. It's all this type of headcanon that me and True Noob be talking about.
And to me, that also makes GT variant. Like, not to always keep copy Marvel, but to me, that makes the old GT and even the Dragon Ball movies are all variant what if scenarios at this point. You know what I mean? Like.
Hey, just imagine if they invited Vegeta into Universe 6 and they was like, yo, Vegeta, come in. Like, we know you lost all your Saiyans in your Universe 7. Come to Universe 6 and lead our army against this big bad villain. And then Vegeta goes and gets crowned king of the Saiyans in Universe 6 and turns them into beasts, and then comes back to Universe 7 as king. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you saw how he changed Young Boy.
like,
I forget his name right now. How he trained him. He affected that man's whole look on life. Yo, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he looked at Kaba and he was like, all right, but it's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? He was like, all right, and he was like, you promised to come and train me, but you was like,
indirectly
I
trained
got
him,
you.
And so, like you said, imagine like a full-on training. Like, that was only half of my training. You get full-on trained by me, and if he trained Kale and Kongler, yo,
he don't want that. You see with Trunks, when you seen the Super, when Trunks was training with Vegeta, they was training hard, and Vegeta was like, all right, fuck this. He went blue and then beat his ass. Because Vegeta, he ain't trying to take them L's at his... Look, Trunks already traumatized him years and years and years ago. Remember when he was a boy in the time chamber, and he went Super Saiyan, and Vegeta was like, what the fuck? And then when they was fighting Cell in second form, and Trunks had got all big and broke.
I don't know what they did in that room, and they still won't tell us what they did, per se, but, like, they came out different.
We know what they did. Vegeta and Trunks was in there in the gym shooting, like they was going hard. But what Goku and them they both had two different methods of training. Goku and Gohan, they were trying to perfect the Super Saiyan form, but Vegeta and Trunks were trying to find the next level. So like what they ended up doing was having this bulky power stored form. But what Goku and Gohan did was they perfected Super Saiyan. So now their Super Saiyan was more effective and efficient. So like now, like what happened before, like, you know, GT and all, before Super and all that shit, they would go to Super Saiyan to just start all the time because that was their most effective and efficient form. Now with Blue and with God Ki and stuff, that's their most efficient energy output form. So they can scale it down or scale it up. So now they just go to Blue to kick shit off. Like they just be, all right, I'm gonna go Blue.
Yeah.
So.
Listen. Wavey, anything? Yeah.
I mean, shout out to GT. I mean, I've watched some of GT, so I would like to see it remade or whatever. I would like to see like how they like redo. I know there's gonna be a lot of like stuff they have to redo if they do another GT. They remake it or something like that. But I'm interested to see it. 'Cause I like Oob, so I do want to see like him and like the more recent Dragon Ball stuff. But that's something we got to see about. You know what I'm saying? Like I already heard. This been going for a while. So,
this is an episode, and we need to get One True Noob out here. Like, you know, that's with One True. You know what? We know where to find. We know where to find him. Right. And other people that can have this whole other conversation.
That's
but
right.
In essence, that's a wrap, squad. Be sure to check us out. Check out all of our social media content at Phucaname. Catch previous episodes of our podcast on whatever podcast streaming service you prefer. We are there, guaranteed. Be sure to check us out on our website for a lot of our written content as well. I've been your host, Frosty Phoenix. Catch me on Instagram, TikTok, social media and X, formerly known as Twitter, at Frosty Phoenix, at FROSTYPHENIX, and I stream games on Twitch, same name, 89 at the end. Squad, close out with your socials.
What's good, y'all? Of course, it's a sneaker lover, anime watcher, video game player, Wavy God.
Okay.
Here in the flesh. Of course, only three. But thank y'all for joining this episode of Phucapod. Be sure to answer the questions in the polls that we're gonna have on Spotify. Our names are gonna be up across our heads in the video format. That'll be on Spotify and YouTube. But you can follow me on Twitter, X, and Instagram, Wavy God, WAVII_GAWD. Peace, y'all. I'm gonna send out to my teammates to sign off.
Yo, thank y'all for listening in. I've been Cornered Fox, a.k.a. Leroy Justice, a.k.a. One Speed Wanda, a.k.a. Siniska, a.k.a. everything. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Thank y'all for listening in. It was a great episode. Y'all can catch me at Phucaname. You can also catch me on Instagram at Sonny Burns. That's SANIBURNS.
If he logs in.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I logged in, you know what I'm saying? But catch me with the gang at Phucaname. Keep listening to all our content. Keep watching our skits and videos. Laugh with us, cry with us, love with us, hate with us, play video games with us. You know what I'm saying? A1 players. Make A1 plays, baby.
A1 plays. And rate us 5 stars on Apple and Spotify podcasts. And follow and subscribe to the YouTube and on Spotify. You already know what it is.
As Desert Skies would say, I know he's here in spirit. He's out doing life things. Squad! We out of here, folks. I had time to perfect it, you know what I'm saying? This is stuff that works out eventually.
He had a little time to perfect it, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't
okay.
desert. It wasn't desert. I didn't do full output.
It gets a B.
But it is what it is.
It gets a B. I didn't do full output.
I'm not going to go there right now. Peace out, y'all.
All right, peace out.